This is the third of 3 videos on Tier 3 gasoline, a wolf in sheep's clothing, which is a presentation I made at the OPIS Fuels and Octane Forum, October 24, 2019. The first 2 videos showed that 1, we are way behind schedule in meeting the goal. 2, there's been no net progress in upgrading our FCC trains for Tier 3. 3, octane loss is 5 times higher than expected when refiners adjust gasoline desulfurizers to make 10 ppm gasoline. With these 3 facts, it makes good sense to ask, why is there such high confidence in the industry that Tier 3 gasoline is a done deal? What is going to happen? Adaptation. Refiners will find ways to make it work. This means adjusting operations to mitigate octane loss, or cope with it, or make up for it, or do without the octane. But this is when the wolf sheds his disguise. The adaptations are costly. Here is a partial list of adaptations. We see purchase, 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 downgrade, 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 restrict, restrict, restrict. These adaptive steps are being taken today as refiners scramble to restore their octane balance after reducing gasoline sulfur. Step by step, hidden constraints and bottlenecks get exposed and the remedies take their toll on profits. The last 3 points on this list refer to steps that restrict the capacity to supply high-value gasoline from low-value feeds. These can be especially costly because they handcuff the FCC process train, which is our main machine for converting low-value heavy oils to octane barrels. This difficult sulfur spec takes control and limits flexibility for taking in low-cost feedstocks and converting them to the most profitable gasoline and distillate products. In financial terms, we handcuff our ability to capture the crack spreads, which are the core factors for profitability. Yes, we can make this work, but at what cost? The consequences are low premium gasoline, total gasoline and octane barrel production, less crude flexibility and profit margin, more unplanned downtime and credit liabilities. These consequences will show up on bottom lines in 2020. My view is that the industry has not been well aware of the size of these risks and their consequences for profits. Billions of dollars per year of octane destruction is enough to move profit needles. Our research results have been cast into the form of 3 spreadsheet modeling tools to help refiners prepare and adapt. There's not time today to discuss these spreadsheets, but we have several publications and videos on them and on how our clients have used them to make key Tier 3 decisions. These spreadsheet tools have helped our clients decide Tier 3 strategy, capital investments, licensors, process design, catalysts, optimal feeds and cut points, and sulfur credit strategy. Wherever you stand in implementing Tier 3, your company will benefit from including our data and spreadsheet tools in your decision process. By doing this research far in advance of the deadline, and by getting a full view of Tier 3 issues, we have been able to make accurate predictions on how Tier 3 will play out in real life. We correctly predicted that compliance would stall until 2020, octane price would increase, Tier 3 credit price would increase, and that when the heat gets turned up on desulfurizers, refiners will scramble to make up lost octane. These predictions were all correct. And we predicted that latent constraints and bottlenecks will surface, Tier 3 liabilities will accumulate, Tier 3 credit prices will soar, perhaps causing large surprise expenses like ethanol RINs. That quarterly earnings will be affected, good strategy, good investment, and readiness will be rewarded. Now back to that green, yellow, red analysis. That analysis is my synopsis of work done in several industry studies between 2011 and 2013. It argues that the U.S. refining infrastructure is weak for making Tier 3 gasoline, and that we needed to invest $3 billion to strengthen hydrodesulfurization capability in our FCC trains. Today I have told you those investments were not made. We are still only 40% green. So this sets up the possibility of a good debate. What's the reality? Does Tier 3 require $3 billion of capital investment in FCC trains as the industry believed 6 years ago? Or does it require no such investment as the industry believes today? I would pose the debate question this way: does making Tier 3 gasoline reliably, consistently, and profitably require a green refinery? It is a good debate to have in any refinery whose profitability depends on supplying gasoline to the U.S. market. To have a good debate, you need good data and evidence. The best data and evidence for this debate has been gathered into our 3 annual reports. This was not just a paper study. It was a full-blown research project, including pilot plant testing run at the best industry laboratory, detailed lab analysis of 90 gasoline samples, data from field tests on 9 commercial gasoline desulfurizers, and modeling work to cast that original data into tools for making better fact-based decisions. And our reports include dozens of attachments like these, tens of millions of dollars of the best research on this topic. We found, bought, studied, and applied a wealth of Tier 3 related research. It is included as attachments to our reports. They pull together shared know-how from different disciplines as shown on this list. The reports on this project are available immediately to anyone. They bring a wealth of new data to supplement your own know-how and help strengthen your strategy. The cost of one of our reports is $75,000. That's 7% of the cost of the work. It's cheap per client because the cost is shared among many clients. To put the cost in perspective, it is equal to 1 minute's worth of PBF Energy's annual revenue and only seconds of Valero's annual revenue. Over 10 years, these clients have come to see and to benefit from the great value that comes from sharing results of our multi-client refining technology research projects. So now I have discussed the wolf in sheep's clothing, and you are now seeing an amateur salesman in engineer's clothing. I am recommending you should buy one of our reports. It's a smart thing to do. I suggest the 3rd most recent report, and it's very easy to join our client group. You just sign a purchase order and we deliver the report at the speed of light. In the past, this kind of research has been very expensive, top secret, and proprietary. You could not buy work like this, but now that has changed. Nothing in any of our reports is confidential. You don't need a lawyer. Your standard PO terms and conditions on the internet work fine. Don't form a committee to decide whether to buy it. That will cost more than the report. Just buy it and use it. It's very good work on an important topic and costs only a minute's worth of your annual revenue. That's my amateur sales pitch. And I will finish by quoting a true professional salesman. What have you got to lose? Thanks a lot for your attention.